Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's discussion on chapter 6, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So this is the ongoing Gita Gyan program, morning morning session, batch 4, year 2024. Okay, and today is 25th November 2024, and this is today is a very auspicious day. Okay, whenever and wherever the Gita is spoken, whenever there's Gita is worshipped, the day is considered very auspicious. Okay. So before we start, let's do our invocation prayer to seek blessings and to start it in a very positive way. Let's show our respectful obeisances to all our previous preceptors, gurus, and all acharyas. Okay. Let's do our invocation prayer first. Om Aiknanathmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sva Parantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakada Damadaya Nagaragrama Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachari Satarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Viknana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namustate Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Pasidanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Vir Bhavabhume Stomni Dasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannatha Yate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhubheva Paditanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Vadaharam Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanuste Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Hari Om Tatsat. So dear devotees, so today we're going to discuss on chapter 6, but we just have a quick recap from the day 1, what we have been studying. So chapter 1, we started last Monday. We started with observing the armies of Battle of Kurukshetra, whereby Arjuna was told Krishna to bring the chariot to the middle, and he wanted to see who is there to fight. So at that moment, when Krishna brought the chariot parked right in front of Bhishma Deva, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teacher, he became overwhelmed. Then he doesn't want to fight. And then in chapter 2, Arjuna continues his lamentation, and he couldn't make a decision. So what he did, he surrendered to Krishna as a disciple. Okay, accepted Krishna as a guru and surrendered to him and just told, give me instruction, which is the best option for me. Okay. He said, give me instruction. So the guru-disciple relationship is basically instructing and executing the instruction. All right. It's just like in the military service. Okay. The commander don't give you suggestion. When the commander give you instruction, you just follow the instruction. Okay. Then in chapter 3, it was very beautiful chapter. He studied about karma yoga. So karma yoga means how you're going to go on doing your job on a daily basis. And from that, you're going to offer it as a sacrifice to Vishnu. Okay. And without sacrificing to Vishnu, so a person is considered a miser. Then we studied on transcendental knowledge. In transcendental knowledge, we also studied about the importance of accepting a guru, because the guru, just like the example is like what is a small well can provide, the same thing can be provided by a big reservoir of water. So that means a person, it's better to meet a person who knows the purpose behind them. All right, from us try to bathe in a big pond and everything. It's better to have a small well. That means the small well will also have all the capacity what the big reservoir can provide. Okay, therefore accepting a guru and surrendering to a guru is very, very important and suggested by Krishna. And the guru also must come from a parampara system, the 4 authorized parampara, that is Sri Vaishnava, Brahma, Sri Vaishnava, then Sri Parampara, Sri Parampara, and another one is what they call Rudra Sampradaya, then Kumara Sampradaya, and Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. So only the guru must be accepted in these 4 Sampradaya. Okay. Other than these 4 Sampradaya, all the other things are considered bogus. So what is bogus means? Bogus means cheating. Okay. So it's always, see, to be born as a human being is very, very rare opportunity. Okay. It's already that after so many birth and death, now we got a form of a human. So it is so precious that we cannot screw it up. That's why we have to make sure that we should protect ourselves through the intelligence. That's why some says, what is the need of studying Bhagavad Gita? Okay, because the Shastra says simply by chanting Hare Krishna is sufficient. Okay, just chant Hare Krishna is perfect. You do not need to study the Shastra. You don't even need to worship the deities. Just chant Hare Krishna. That's fine enough. Okay, that's fine enough. But of course, we need to have some knowledge to defend ourselves. Okay, why we need to defend ourselves on the onslaught of this material nature? Because the material nature is very cunning and it's very intelligent, and it just know what you're going to think in advance. Okay, it just know what you're going to think and how you're going to act, and it just knows how to like tackle you. Okay, then therefore we need to acquire the knowledge to protect ourselves. Knowledge is to protect. Okay, to protect ourselves from the onslaught. So suddenly we see one person who can look like a great sadhu. All right, it can be very convincing that he's a sadhu and everything, but you should know how to this thing. Okay, that is all mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, especially chapter 11 in the universal form. Okay, so it's very important. So to accept guru from these 4 parampara. Then after that, Krishna also continues in chapter 5, Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. How are we going to act? So that means in the example that you are talking about, the Arjuna asked, renunciation. Is the renunciation better or work in or in devotional? Bhakti is better. Work in devotional service better or renunciation better? So Krishna says both are good, but doing but practicing devotional service is the best. Okay, but the example what we have summarized is that outwardly you perform action. Outwardly you perform all action. That means you're going to work, you're doing your job, you're coming back and engaging in all kind of service, devotional service. But inwardly, that means in your mind, you renounce. So renounce means, that means you're detached from all these things. You renounce, that means you're just engaging. Your mind is always engaging in Krishna, in Krishna consciousness. Okay, and also we also spoke on what is Krishna consciousness. What is consciousness is all about. Okay, consciousness is the ability of the soul. If the soul is there, means the things are conscious. Right? When the soul exists in a human body, that person is alive. He's conscious. He's alive. He's kicking. If the soul left, that means there's no consciousness. It become dead matter. Okay. So the nature of the consciousness is to engage itself in is to be always conscious of Krishna. Okay, because we did a comparison study, Paramatma and Jivatma. Paramatma means the supreme soul, the super soul, Param, super soul. Then Jivatma means individual soul. So just like a ocean and a drop of seawater, just like the fire and the spark, both are fire. But of course, the quantity is different. Okay. So today we're going to come to the topic of chapter 6, we call Dhyana Yoga. Okay. Because Arjuna says he wants to give up everything and he wants to go to the forest to meditate. And Krishna now refuting the idea about meditation. You really want to go to the forest to meditate? Let's see how you're going to do it. All right. So here you're going to explain about Dhyana Yoga. Then it's called that Astanga Yoga, a mechanical meditative practice. Control the mind and the senses and focus concentration on Paramatma. All right. So that means the Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga means eightfold yoga system, stretching and everything, eightfold yoga system. So what is that goal of that yoga system? Is to control, what they call is to control the mind and the senses. Control the mind and the senses and focus on Paramatma, that within your heart. See, Paramatma, Manasachi, all right? So go within your heart and concentrate in that. Okay. And so this practice culminates in Samadhi, full consciousness of Supreme. Okay. So this Samadhi that we are mentioning here is not the dead Samadhi. Everybody thinks Samadhi means you're dead and go. No. The Samadhi means you're into full absorption. You're in fully trance. You're fully absorbed. Okay. So that's a summary of the topic. So before we start, now we go into the program. So, okay. So ISKCON Malaysia, in collaboration with ISKCON Ipoh Bhakti Yoga Center, proudly presents Gita Gyan, the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Let's take darshan from Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami, Nayana Patakami Bhavatumi. And this is from Germany, ISKCON Golokadam, Germany, Nitai Gauranga. All right. There's something, I don't know whether I've shared this story or not. This is a very unique story, especially happened in Germany. Okay. I heard it when I first joined. So it was like, I always remember this by heart. See, when in early days, when the devotees went and preached in Germany, so they went to one outskirt. There was one beautiful lake. So all the devotees got down and jumped into the lake and were having fun. But people around that lake were so shocked and they were so scared, wondering who's this guy. You know, all the big, tall guys, Western body, with shaven head, with a turf at the back, ponytail. And they were so shocked to see, then they immediately called up the police. And they were having a bus party. So when they came and they called the police. The police came and told them, all of you gonna ask who are you and everything. So they wanted to check the bus. So they went into the bus. There was a curtain. Okay. He said, open the curtain. He said, cannot. Why? Because my Lord is sleeping. He said, what? Yes, my Lord is sleeping. Who is your Lord? Or the Supreme Personality? And they say, what are you talking? Open the curtain. He said, cannot. My Lord is sleeping. And that policemen all got surprised. Then they immediately took the gun. He said, you better open. They point the thing. He said, no, I cannot do it. My Lord is sleeping. I cannot offend him. They said, no, you open the curtain. So what happened? They pointed the gun at the curtain and said, now open. Say, okay. When they opened the curtain, the policeman got a shock of their life. You know why? Because the deity both raised the hand and surrender, So this is one of the things that beautiful things happen in Germany. So this is the ISKCON Goloka Dham, Germany, Nitai Gauranga. So Nitai Gauranga is none other than Krishna, Radha and Krishna combined. That's Gauranga. And Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram. So he is our Adi Guru. Okay. So they came to this world to teach the ultimate way, the easiest way of achieving the love of Godhead. Okay, so today we dedicate our program to His A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Ravinda, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And this program is inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. He's a governing body commission and also a spiritual master. And dedicate to my very dear God brother, His Grace Anadi Jagannath Prabhu of Bengaluru ISKCON Sheshadipuram, He is the creator and the brainchild, the person who came up with this idea of the essence of Gita Gyan program worldwide. And I'm so excited to inform, I'm so happy, I'm so excited to inform that this program is already been translated into Myanmar language. I've been always talking about Myanmar. They have been did the trial run. So now they at last, they have decided to move for it. Maybe later I can share that the screen, the advertisement. So now this entire Gita Gyan program is translated into Myanmar language because we find out there is a very efficient, very effective way of outreach program. And all glories to Anadi Jagannath Prabhu for his wonderful, wonderful creation of this Gita Gyan program. All right, let's look at today's Gita Mahatmya, the glories of Bhagavad Gita. So it says, Sarvo Panishado Gavo, Dogda Gopala Nandana, Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdam Gita Mritam Mahat. Gita Mahatmya number 6. Okay, Adi Shankara is saying, Sarvo Panishado. Sarvo means varieties, all, many, many. Sarva, right? So, Upanishad. Upanishad means Upanishad, okay? So, is Sarvo Panishado means all varieties of Upanishad. Gavo. Dogda, Gopala Nandana. Gopala Nandana. Gopala means Krishna and Nandana. Okay. Then, son of Nanda. Partho, Vatsa. Partho means Arjuna. Okay. Oh, son of Pritha, right? Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. Okay. Bhokta means the enjoyer. Dugdam Gita Amritam. Dugdam Gita Amritam. So, Gita Amritam, they combine, they say Gita Amritam. That means the nectarian Gita Mahat. So now the translation is all the Upanishads are like a cow. That means that's all. That means there is a how many Upanishad? 108. Okay. Upanishad. 100, how many Upanishad? 108 Upanishad. I forgot the terms. I think 1,300 something. Or 1130 or 1300. Okay. Anyway, 1,000 plus all varieties of Upanishad are like a cow. Okay. And the milk of the cow is Lord Krishna. Okay. That means all the Upanishads are like a cow. The milk of the cow is Lord Sri Krishna, who is the son of Nanda, Gopala Nandana. Okay. Now the thing is, what does that mean? Okay. What this statement means? That means there are thousands of Upanishad. Okay. 1130. Yes. 1130 or 130. Okay. Something 1,000 plus Upanishad. Varieties of Upanishad. Okay. So when you look at the cow, what is that milk? The milk is actually the blood of the cow, which is the most nourishing. All right. According to the Shastra, Ayurveda says drinking blood is good. But that means we are not vampire to drink blood. Okay. So what we do, we drink the blood in the form of milk, which is nourishing our brain. Okay. So that is that entire nectar. That means when the cow eats grass, it digests. It drinks milk, it digests. It drinks water, it digests. It knows which are the good grass to eat. It pastures, go around and everything, so that it can produce the best food for human being. All right, that is the milk from the cow. So that is the essence of the entire body, the cow body and everything. What is the essence of that? All the thing is the milk. All right. So that's why killing cow is extremely sinful, because cow is a mother. It's such a betrayal to eat beef. When a person eats beef, you are actually eating your own mother. Because a person born with 6 mothers, we think, my mother is the mother that I born to is my only mother. No, we got 6 mothers. First, the mother that delivers you. And second is the nurse who nursed you when your mother is sick. All right, when after delivery, she is the mother, the nurse. Number 3 is, say, like sometimes the mother passed away. Now, for example, when the child grew up, it takes lot of lactogen and all this kind of what they call, all kind of formula milk. Where the milk come from? From cow. So the mother cow is our third mother. Okay. And number 4 is what they call the mother earth. Yeah, what is the 6? I've just lost my idea, right? So like that, we have 6 mothers. Six varieties of mother. It's not that only mother that delivers is the only mother. Every mother. One of it is, other than your wife, every women are mother. Out of the 6 mother, number 1, the mother who delivers you. Number 2 is that the nurse. Number 3 is what they call is the mother cow. Number 4 is the mother earth. Number 5 is the wife of a guru. Wife of a guru is a mother. And number 6, every woman other than your wife is your mother. We must always remember that. The mother, the women have been given the highest respect and must be protected from all sides. That's why women has to be protected, because the women, the mother is always to be protected. Sometimes nowadays in the modern days, they're talking about women rights and everything. So they just don't want to be protected, and they just want to live a very, what they call, they want freedom. Freedom from what? Whatever freedom? Freedom from dressing, freedom for all this. So all these kind of nonsense things, right? Because like, for instance, if say like, for instance, like we, who has a mother, we don't even, my mother wants to go to buy things, I don't allow to go by myself. It's always natural for a son or a daughter to protect the mother. So this is not the only mother we have. We got 6 such mothers. So we need to protect mother cow. We need to protect the earth. We need to respect our guru's wife, protect. We need to protect every woman. So the Vedas have already uphold this very, very clearly, that other than your wife, every woman are mother and every woman are worshipable. It is not to look at them in a very lusty way, or to, or what they call, to take them for a ride. You know what? That's the word. What they call? Should not. What is the word? Yeah. We should not. That's the word. Okay, take them for a ride. Okay. Yes. Somebody want to say something? Vivan?
Take them for granted.
Yes, that's the word. You read my mind. Very good. Take them for granted. A woman should not be taken for granted. Okay. It is very, very, very sinful. That's why in one of the 10 commandments in Bible, okay, in Bible, there's 10 commandments. One of the commandments says, looking at a woman in a lustrous way is considered adultery. Even you look at the woman, you look the sexy girl, finish. You're considered done adultery. It's very dangerous. A person must be very careful on that. So anyway, come back to the point. So now the milk has been okay, there's a producing milk. So now the son of Nanda, Sri Krishna, is the milker. He's milking. And who? Arjuna is the calf. So Arjuna is the calf. See, the mother cow will only give milk when he sees the calf. Right? When you see the calf, and out of love, the milk will start to flow. So Arjuna is the calf. And what Krishna milk? The beautiful nectar of Gita. Because out of all the Upanishad, Gita is also called Upanishad. The Bhagavad Gita is known as Gita-Upanishad. Like we have Isha-Upanishad, all variety of Upanishad. And one of the Upanishad is Gita-Upanishad. That is Bhagavad Gita. All right. So that means he milked the best Upanishad from the entire Upanishad. The best, that is Gita, which is full of nectar. All right. So Gita is the milk. Beautiful nectar of the Gita is the milk. And the fortunate devotees, that means you, all the devotees who are studying Bhagavad Gita and all these things, the fortunate devotees of the fine theistic intellect are the drinker and enjoyer of that milk. So we are the one who drinks and enjoy that milk, which is the essence of all Upanishad. Okay. With that reflection, we start our program today. Let's look at the understanding of Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Krishna descends specifically to re-establish the real purpose of life. Okay. For many people have purpose. Okay. There's so many people have so many purpose in life. But what is that real purpose? Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. So he came to re-establish the real purpose. So re-establish means what? Formerly it was established. Now it has disappeared. So it came to start back again, to restart again. Okay. When, for instance, say a country which was a democratic country, then after that the communists take over, then the communists terrorize and everything. After the communist regime fall, they go there and re-establish the democratic way of life. So that means formerly they had it, in between they lost it, and they come. So it's re-established. What is the real purpose of life? When a man forgets that purpose. When the man forgets the purpose. Even then, out of many, many human beings. Now let's look at this statement. Very important. Even then, out of many, many human beings who awaken. That means there are so many human beings that awaken means what? Awaken means they have the intelligence. They realize that I'm not this body. That spirituality is very important. You know, there's awakening in them. Even though there's so many people awaken, there may be one who actually enters into the spirit of understanding his position. So that means only one out of so many people. he will enter into the spirit of understanding his position. Because understanding your position is very important, right? People say, why you're only talking about this subject? Why this? Because there is a scientific explanation behind that. All right. So we must understand who am I, what am I? Understand my position. Okay, it's very rare. And from him, this Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So the one who going to relish the Bhagavad Gita is the one who was awakened, or who want to be awakened, and who are looking for a spirit of understanding his position. So for that kind of people, the Bhagavad Gita is spoken. So actually we are all swallowed. So now actually we are all swallowed by the tigress of nations. Nations means what? Nation means ignorance. Okay, we all are swallowed by the tigress of nations. Okay, what is the tigress of nations? Maya. So, but the Lord is very merciful upon living entity, especially human being. To this end, he spoke Bhagavad Gita, making his friend Arjuna his student. So what we can understand from this? So the reason behind that Bhagavad Gita was spoken, it's basically because for us. And who is that instrument? Arjuna was the instrument. So Arjuna was triggered to ask such question. So therefore, Krishna can answer them. And that conversation becomes Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above. Now let's look at Arjuna. Arjuna is an associate of Lord Krishna. And he is above all ignorance actually. He doesn't fall into this kind of situation. But Arjuna was put into ignorance. Okay. So Krishna purposely put Arjuna into that ignorance. Okay. On the battlefield, just to question Lord Krishna. Just to question Lord Krishna. Okay. About the problems of life. So that Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generation of human being. Let's look at this. The Lord could explain them. So he simply put them, so Arjuna will start to ask the problem of life. Okay, then the Lord could explain them. What? Explain what? The benefit for the, explain them for the benefit of the future generation. And we are the future generation. So that means 5,000 plus years ago, you spoke this. So that 5,000 plus years later, you and I can relish and realize the problem of life. Okay. Okay. For future, for human being, and chalk out the plan of life. Chalk out the plan of means what? Chalk. That means you're writing. Okay. Like that means, in other words, those days there's a chalk and a blackboard, right? So chalk out means you are drawing your plan. So what is going to be a future? That means once you know your definition, what is it, this thing? So now you're going to make a plan. How you're going to draft your plan in the following the following year that you have. How long do you have will be explained here. All right. Then men could act accordingly. So men could act accordingly and perfect his mission of human life. So what is that mission? The vision of human life can be perfected. All right. So let's start our session here. Okay, now chapter 6, the title is Dhyana Yoga. So let's look at the last 27 and 28, last chapter 5, 27, 28. So Krishna says, Sparshan kritva bahirbayang chaksus chaimantare bruvo prana pano samau kritva nasa byantara charino yatindriya mano buddhir munir moksha parayana vigatecha baya krodo ya sada mukta eva saha. So now it says here, shutting all external sense object. All the external sense object. Okay. Keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows. So that means keeping the eyes and the vision. That means you have to open your eyes. You have to look. Okay. In concentration between the two eyebrows. That means your eyes must look at within the two eyebrows. Can you try and see? Can you try and see? Just put your eyes, just look at the two eyebrows. Okay. See how long you can handle, you can tahan that, all right? Suspending the inward and outward breath. Do you want to try? Suspend means what? First you breathe out, you stop. Then you breathe in, you stop. You breathe out, you stop. You breathe in and stop. You breathe out, breathe in, then you stop breathing. So you're suspending. So in yoga posture, they suspend the breath. All right? So within the nostril, that means you suspend within the nostril and thus controlling the mind. Then by that, you try to control the mind, the senses, and the intelligence. So again, the mind, the senses, and the intelligence. The transcendentalists aiming at liberation become free from desire, fear, and anger. So that means those who wants to get liberation, they have to become free from desire, free from fear, and also anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. So how many of you can do this? Can anyone? Don't you think it's a very tough process to control the mind? Let's see. Okay. Now let's look at chapter 6, text 3. So we have straight away jumped to 6.3. So I hope that you all read the chapter from 6.1. So he says, Arurukshor muner yogam karma karanam uchyate yoga ruddhasya tasyaiva shama karanam uchyate. He says, for one who is neophyte. Neophyte means what? Those who are trying. That means a junior. Okay. Who is a neophyte in the Eightfold Yoga system. That means those who are into that Eightfold Yoga system, Astanga Yoga. They put the leg, they cover, the thing is Eightfold Yoga system. Okay. Those who are starting, work is said to be the means. All right. And for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the mean. What does that mean? For a first beginner, they have to practice, they have to work for it. But those who have already elevated, for them to give up all that activity is the mean. You all understand? In other words, for a beginner, that's why in Karma Yoga, Krishna says, start doing your job. Don't give up your job. Your result, offer it to Krishna. Okay? That is the for beginner. If the Bhagavad Gita straight away said, you have to give up everything. You have to give up. You have to live under the mercy of Krishna. All of you have to become a monk. All of you to stay in the monastery. How many of you would like to stay here? Huh? All will run away. Oh my God. What is this? So he straight said, for step 1, do karma yoga. So that means here in 6.3, he says, for a beginner, karma is important. That means the activity, the work is important. He have to work for it. But for elevated, is the one who give up all the work is said to be the mean. All of you understand? If you don't understand, please put your hands up, or you can just unmute yourself and ask question. How many of you don't understand? Okay, how many of you understand? Thumbs up. Okay, how many of you first of all here? Anybody home? Hello? Am I audible? Am I talking to myself?
No.
Yes,
Oh.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
God.
Prabhu.
Okay, Mataja. Hey, I was so worried. I was thinking I was talking to myself.
No,
Okay,
no,
you
you're
understand?
silently listening. I love
Okay,
to
okay.
listen to you. Mesmerized.
Yeah. No, that's why if there's some reciprocation, some feedback, then I know, like, Okay. Now, okay, that's 6.3. So you understand, for a beginner, work. For advanced, give up. Just like when you first starting work, you have to work for it. But those old people, they retired, sit at home. Is to stop working. Is the nature. Okay, example. Okay, now let's look at 6.5, 6.6. All right. Udaret atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva hyatmana bandur atmaiva ripur atmanaha bandur atmanastasya yenatmaivatmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvad. In Sanskrit, shatru means enemy. Shatru means enemy. All right. So now Krishna says 5 and 6, he says, one must deliver himself with the help of his mind. So we have to deliver ourselves means what? We have to save ourselves with the help of our mind and not degrade himself. All right. He should not degrade himself with the mind. So what is a degradation? Now look at this like modernization. All these things are becoming more and more degraded. Okay. So one must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul. Okay. For this conditioned soul, what is that conditioned soul means? That means all of us got condition. We have conditioning. Example, I am an Indian. All right. I am a Malaysian. And this is my belief system. This is my favorite food. I like this and I don't like that. All right. This is my preferred job and this job. So we are all have condition in life. All right. Like sometimes, like for instance, especially like when you're going for a government meeting. Okay. Like my wife, like today she's in Klang attending a government meeting. So before that, they start to ask, what is your diet? Okay, I'm vegetarian. So vegetarian means that usually they put egg and everything. So she said vegan. So she said, I'm a vegan diet. Oh, what is the type of drink? What type of place you want to stay? And all these kind of. So that means when she need to fill up that form, that's when I start to realize. So every one of us have a specific desire, specific interest. So the specific interest is called conditioning. We have been conditioned into that. Okay, for conditioning into that, right? So that means that's why we call the mind is a friend of a conditioned soul. Okay, at the same time, also his enemy, and his enemy as well. For him who has conquered the mind, the one who has conquered the mind is the best friend. If you can conquer your mind is the best friend. But one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. Varte tatmaiva shatruvat. The greatest enemy. So, all that suffering, enjoyment, and all these things we are all going through is because of our mind. All right. So, example, now I'm going to explain to you. Oops, what is this? Okay. What is that mind and where is it? Where does it stay? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Okay. Can you see the whiteboard? Is the whiteboard visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, let's look at this. So now the question is, how many types of body do we have? And what are the things that we have here? Okay. Number one, we understand the first thing is like this. Okay. We have a, okay. We have the first circle here. Okay. We call this as the gross body. Okay. We call this as the gross body. Okay, what is this gross body? The gross body means the gross body which has that 5 senses. Okay. Example, the gross body has the sense of, the gross body is made of it has 5 senses, which is the material element. Okay, which we call it as the mind, sorry, which is made of 5 elements. What is that element? Earth, E-A-R-T-H, earth, water, ether, fire, and earth, water, ether, fire, and what? Another one? Earth,
Air.
water, fire.
Air. Air.
Air. Yes, very good, very good. Air. All right, it's made of 5 elements. Okay. Okay. Earth, water, fire, ether, air. Earth, water, fire, ether, air. Okay. So it's made of these 5 elements. The body is made of 5 elements. Okay. And then, okay, I don't want to confuse you further, but there's a 5 working element and okay. So the body is made of 5 elements. Okay. Within that body, there is another body. Okay. Within here, there's another body inside here, inside this. Okay. And this is called subtle body. Okay. And what is that thing in the subtle body? There is a 3 element here in the subtle body. That is is made of mind, intelligence, ego. Okay. So this subtle body is made of this mind, intelligence, and ego. Okay, are you following me in this? Ether means that a place within the space and the land. Okay. That means it's a space. That means I say, like, for instance, when you look at the earth, all right, when you look at the earth, between the land and the space, in between, there's a place called ether. So where is the ether situated in your body is between your stomach and your lungs. Are you following me, Tinesh?
Yes, yes, understand.
So that means your stomach has a digest power fire. Your stomach has fire because that digests the food. Your lungs is air. It breathes. So in between your stomach and your air, there's a middle part they call ether. So similarly, the earth and the sky, in between they call ether. Right? Okay. So the subtle body is made of mind, intelligence, ego. And in this, then when you look at this, the third one is, and within the subtle body is the place. Okay. This is the place where who resides here? This is the place, the soul. S-O-U-L. Yes, Prabhu. Vaishnava Prabhu. Yes, Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu.
Like you to explain ether more detail, Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu.
About ether. Why is it?
Ether is in between the earth and the space.
The limit of the space is what, Prabhu?
Limit of the space, That means?
Sky.
Huh?
You mean it is between the earth and the sky?
Yes, in between. It is above the clouds, the place called ether. Ether is the place where the sound is vibrated. The sound, when you look at these, that antennas, antenna, what do you call that? Aerial and all this. When I call you, say, like, immediately you get the thing. So what is connecting us? The signal, right? And the signal travels through the ether. So it is the place where that's above, that's earth. The earth is like this. Example, okay, I show you. Okay, now say this is the earth, okay, and the ether is somewhere here around this area. The first covering is called ether.
Above that, Prabhu? Above the ether?
Above that is space. Right? Okay. So the empty area here, this area is called ether. All right, and above that there's a spike. There's they go. I forgot my geography. Stratosphere and extrosphere, so all kind of fear. All right, and above this is space. So somewhere in
the stratosphere and all, is it a material covering, Prabhu?
Yes, definitely, Prabhu. Everything is material, and the entire creation is everything is material. The spiritual is after you leave this place.
The 7 covering, does it include that, Prabhu?
What is it?
Earth covering, sky, fire covering, water covering, and all that.
Oh, yes. You're talking about that covering near the. That means you're talking about the earth covering, water covering, and that every covering is 10 times more. You mean that one?
Yeah, correctly.
That is under the universe. That means when you break away, you're going back home, back to God. You have to go through all these 8 coverings. Correct or not?
It come here, bro.
What is it? You can't?
The 7 coverings. In your diagram, where does it fall, bro?
Oh, that is under universal creation. I'm not talking about universal here. The 7 covering, you're talking about universe.
Yeah.
That means you're talking about there is this entire egg, right? Then there's a.
That's what I'm asking you. You have the ether as a space between the earth and the sky.
Yes.
Above the sky, what do you have, Prabhu?
Above the sky is space, Prabhu. Outer space.
Ether comes in between the earth and the sky, Prabhu.
Within that earth. Say, for instance, this is the earth, Prabhu. This is planet Earth, Bhumi.
Yeah.
Right? And here there's a outer, that means there's a clouds here. Example, there's a clouds around this area. Okay, there's a clouds, right? There's a clouds, right?
Yeah.
So this area before that outer covering and inter covering, there's a first, the last covering of this is called ether.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
All right, Prabhu. Because I know you're comparing with this creation, the entire universal creation. That's another topic.
Yeah. Thank you.
Think about the human body. Okay. So now when we see that, so this is what is happening. Gross body have 5 senses. Then have 5. Okay, what are the things in gross body? Okay, I just type the thing for your information. But of course, I'm not going to explain this now because it's going to take a long time. So the human gross body. Okay. So what are the things? Okay, number 1, 5 elements. Okay, the elements. Number 2, there's air, water, ether. Actually, I made a mistake there. I made a 5 senses. Anyway, okay, 5 element. Then they have 5 senses like your eyes, nose, and everything. Then number 3, we have 5 working senses. Then number 4, we have 5 knowledge, acquiring senses. So that's the human gross body is made of. So the human gross body have all these things. Okay, they have that 5 element that's made of this air, water, ether, fire, and they have a 5 senses, and there's a 5 working senses and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Okay, you all following me? All okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So now when you see, so what are the gross body? Now we're going to talk on this matter. Okay, we're going to talk based on these 5 senses. Okay, we're going to talk on the 5 senses. That means this body made of 5 senses, which is eyes, which is then nose, the sense of sight, sight, smell, taste, touch, and hear. Okay, so this is the 5 senses that made of this material gross body. Okay, now let's see. Now when you look at this human body, okay, we are just going to refer on 5 senses, nothing else. Don't confuse it, only 5 senses. So the gross body have 5 senses. That means we have our eyes that we can see, the nose that we can smell, the taste that we can taste, and touch and hear. So these are the 5 senses that is happening. All right. So, and what is in that subtle body? In that subtle body, we have this thing called mind, intelligence, ego. So what does that mean? So that means the subtle body is something which is been with you. Okay. Say like, for instance, I'm wearing a shirt. Inside my shirt is a singlet. Okay. And inside the singlet is me. So the first layer is this thing. Second layer is mind, intelligence, ego. The third one is a soul. This is a pure spirit soul that's stuck inside. Okay. Now I've got a problem. So when you see everything that we desire or we like and everything, it's all come from that, what we call from that subtle body. There is mind, intelligence, ego. Okay. Example. Okay, give you a good example. Say like, for instance, okay, I use this example. Say suddenly a person calls you Kaling. When someone calls you Kaling, will you be angry? Especially Indians? Or you'll be very happy? Hey, Kaling. You'll be angry or what?
Angry.
Angry, right? So you'll be angry. So what does that word Kaling actually means? Actually, the Kaling word is got nothing. There's no meaning. All right. So what happened? when the word someone utters the word, first it be captured by the mind. The mind captures the word. Okay. The mind captures the word. Okay. Then after the mind captures the word, and what happened? The mind will send the thing to be processed by the intelligent. Okay. The intelligent process the word. After the thing process the word, it gives the information back to the mind. All right. And the mind will start to react. And how the mind react, that means I'm getting angry. Oh, you call me that claying word. Oh, I'm very angry. No, I want to whack the floor. I want to kick the floor, whatever it is. So what happened? The mind will send the information to the ego, false ego. And you know what? This false ego will send the information to the the, all right, to the senses, to the gross senses, right? Okay, it is done this thing to the gross body, and the gross body will start to act accordingly. So far, so good. Do you all understand what I'm saying? What are the 5 knowledge? All these you don't worry now, Mataji. Later, I'll explain to you the 5 knowledge acquiring senses. And we try to understand this first now. Okay. All right. So that's why I just highlight these 5 senses. We're just going to talk on these 5 senses for now. Then later, of course, by the end of this program, definitely you'll know what is that 5 working senses and everything. Just try to understand this one first. Okay. So do you all understand this? Any one of you confused? You want further clarification? So that means when you look at this, the subtle body has the mind. When someone call you claying or whatever bad word or something that make you angry. So what happened? First, the thing captured by the mind. The mind will send the information to the intelligence. So intelligence will process and send back to the mind. Then the mind will send the things to ego, false ego, ahankar. And the ahankar will make the gross body, according to the 5 senses, will start to react. You'll start to get angry. You start to get this thing, and you start to whack the floor and all these things. You understand? So the 5 senses are very strong. The sight, smell, taste, touch, and hear is very, very powerful. So all of us are working hard just to satisfy that. All right. See, when there's a desire, where do the desire actually starts? The desire actually starts at this area. The desire actually starts at this area. Okay. So the place to desire is in your subtle body. Okay. The place to desire is actually in your subtle body. Are you following me on this? So the thing desires in the subtle body, and the gross body reacts. You got it? Say, like, for instance, you're driving a car. Now you feel like driving, you feel like going fast. Okay. You cannot run 100 kilometers per hour, but you can sit in a car and drive the car at 100 kilometers per hour. So what happened? We react all from we react from the false ego. The intelligence gives only information. The mind processes it. The reaction comes when the ego triggers that. Sometimes they say, right, oh, egoistic person, the flow is very egoistic. What does it mean? So what is ego? Ego is why. So how the ego reacts? Through the body. Okay. So that means I cannot run 100 kilometers per hour, but I buy a car and I can drive at 100 kilometers per hour. So that means who is actually driving? The car is the gross body, which is nothing, which is only an instrument. But the desire and everything comes from this area called in the subtle body. So from this subtle place, you get all this, and the thing that reacts actually in your gross body. So far, so good. Now you understand your anger, your taste, everything, your desire, your anger, everything actually comes from your subtle body. Come from your subtle body, and the one that execute is the gross body. The gross body is made of matter. That means can see the gross body. The subtle body cannot be seen, but only can be felt. When suddenly you fell in love with someone, what actually fall in love? Do you fall in love with your eyes? Do you fall in love with your ears? No. The thing from the inside, the mind will start to create the feeling, the intelligence start to produce the feeling, and the ego will start to react. And that's when you start to fall in love and all these things. So the gross body that we have here is only an instrument. Yes, Dr. Hema? How many of you understand this? How many of you don't understand? Please, because this is very important, because if you understand this, we can, all the other things I can just relate to this.
What about our experience installed in the subtle body? Like a
That's
child,
all the experience. Sorry, again?
like the childhood experience and love experience and kind of all the experience that we have passed through life that is installed in the body, a subtle body, isn't it?
Yes, correct. Very right. So all that past experience, not only in this birth, but all in our previous birth, everything for millions of birth, all these things are kept in this intelligence. All right. So that's why when the mind receives the information, it sends to the intelligence to be processed. You got it? First, the thing captures by the mind, the intelligence will process, and after that goes back to the mind, and the mind makes the ego to react.
Wow, that is complicated if we previous life also included.
Exactly. That's why now, for instance, certain things that we are inspired, certain things the way we act, all right? All these things is because we have taken millions and millions of births. We have passed through these millions of lifetime. So all the things is kept in our intelligence. That's why when this body, now at this body, you're a human being. All right. If after that a person gives up this body and take the body of a cat, right? So the intelligence will just make the thing to work according to the cat body. So this subtle body will follow you forever, but the gross body, you go on changing. Okay. And if you taken a body of a cow, you stay in that body of a cow for 20 years. Then after that, you come to the body of a human, you live here maybe 70 years. So that means we are keep changing. The gross body keep changing, but the subtle body doesn't change. Okay? You all understand this concept?
You mean the very fine, tiny of senses like react that we have carried on so many birth. So one of the very fine like you don't like people call you cling. Okay, this trigger you cute things to fears and anger and this kind of feeling all comes up, right?
Yes. Because once I've taken a body of an Indian, all right, even the word cling, that doesn't make that it doesn't have any meaning, but the word triggers the anger because the thing is already in the intelligence. All right, because every birth we are acquiring new and new experience. All right. Example, now I've given up Malaysian citizenship. I go to America. All right. I become American citizen. So once I become an American citizen, I start to have so much of love for the country America. And I start to become a patriotic for America. So in the future, say Malaysia attacks America, which has never happened. But say if Malaysia attacks America. So now what happened? Formerly I was a Malaysian. Now I go to America. Now I became American patriotic. So when Malaysia attacks America, I get very angry. And I join the American soldier and fight against Malaysian soldier. So that means all that experience. So we are gaining experience. We go to one place, we gain new experience. Like that. So in this birth, we get experience. So we are acquiring, so we have millions and trillions of experience that convince you that this material world is a nice place. That's why despite all the suffering that we are going through, the intelligence says, no, look at that, all that experience. It's a nice place. You can enjoy. Right? So you can enjoy. So for instance, you see in every living species, the 4 things are the important thing. Okay, especially the 3. Number 1, they love to eat. All the living entities in varieties of this thing, they are just going and fighting, killing each other for food. It happens to all living entities, standard. Number 2, all living entities from the cell, the minute cell, up to that big time devas and everything, they love to have sex. They want sex to produce children. So sexual, even like when you look at animal kingdom, right? The best male lion will fight and they wins just for the sake of sex. Every living entity likes that, right? And number 3, every living entity loves to sleep. Yes, every living entity like to rest and sleep. And number 4, every living entity protects their young. They don't let them go as they like, they protect. So that means that's a thing of is standard for all living entities. So, but after that, the mind will take all this experience and start to say, well, this is nice place, beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. So even though that we go through so much of suffering, idum kadandu pogum, like someone in Tamil, they say, this shall pass. It will pass on. That's why in yesterday or day before yesterday, the introduction of, that understanding Gita, there's one verse, there's one phrase that Prabhupada wrote. A man who always desire, the men who are enlightened, who are enlightened, they start to understand the suffering of life. But when the man try to bring solution to that suffering, he is insane. He is foolish, right? Because there's no way you can get rid of the suffering. So from you thinking about that suffering or try to improve that suffering, improve that situation, you should rather engage your mind to get out of this place for good, right? Like I'm sitting in a prison hall, I'm sitting in a prison and I'm so much depressed. Okay, I'm so much depressed. Okay, then you do some good things and the prisoner come and ask you, I give you one wish, what do you want? Only one. He said, Mr. Prisoner, Mr. Warden, the prison cell that I'm staying, the color is depressing. Can you give me some yellow color so I can paint the wall yellow color? If I paint the yellow color, I feel more calm. The white color, it makes me so depressed. Or the gray color make me so depressed. I want to paint my cell yellow color. That is insanity. That is foolishness. That's what Prabhupada said that day. So we are trying to improve the situation, but we are sitting in the prison. We are trying to improve insanity. Okay, anyway. So now when you look at this thing, so now, where do suffering come from? Okay, I am suffering. I can't take it. I lost my love. Someone cheated me. I have lost my fortune. I have lost my fortune. I lost my fortune and no point living. Okay, I don't find any reason to live. Okay, the best solution is to commit suicide. All right, because there's no point. For an honorable man, dishonor is worse than death. Sometimes they say for an honorable person, dishonor is worse than death. What is the point? Okay, I have lost my dignity. I have lost in my share market. I am now declared bankrupt. What people going to think about me? All right. I failed my subject. My boyfriend left me. My girlfriend left me. My most beloved person died. I have been betrayed. Oh no, I can't take this anymore. My children left me, my grandchildren, everything. I feel so betrayed. I'm a fool, number one. So the only thing I can do is to commit suicide. So the best thing is, let me die and just go off so that I can escape all this situation. So a person might have so many reasons to commit suicide. All right, school tensions, pressure, education, betrayal, this, that, for a family honor, tradition. Sometimes people make mistake. Pregnant, they say, so all these kind of things happen. So I rather commit suicide. I can't take it anymore. So when you commit suicide, what actually are you killing? You are just killing your gross body. You all understand? How many of you don't understand what I'm saying? This is very important.
Okay, is it a gross body? The senses will trigger the intellect. You mean the subtle body, or the subtle body restoring things will be triggered to gross body? Which one?
Very good. Beautiful. Wonderful question. You're talking about to suicide, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anger.
Yes, the anger that caused commit suicide. Example, just now when we studied the verse, if you can control the mind, your mind is your best friend. If you can't control your mind is going to be your worst enemy. So all this trigger happens from the mind. No point living. Just die. The intelligence will supply. Intelligence is just like a computer, like AI. You type any nonsense, the thing will tell you what to do. Okay? If you just go to AI and says, how can I die without pain? It will never say, no, you shouldn't die. It will give you the information.
Hare
Right.
Krishna. Prabhu,
Yes,
Prabhu, I got a
Mataji.
question. Prabhu, not to say this this type of a person is a psychiatric person.
Huh?
Ah,
Psychiatric person.
yeah. Like
Psychiatric
they
person,
want to commit suicide.
psychological.
Yeah.
No. Is it
No.
psychiatric? You're mentioning about psychiatric or you're mentioning to psychologically?
Psychologically and psychiatric. Because I'm
Psychiatric is
handling
different,
psychiatric
Mataji.
patients.
Psychiatry
Sorry,
means they have the tendency to use their mind. They have
Okay.
the brain part is already acquired.
Okay.
So psychiatry means it's a kind of disease and they are like amnesia. When a person
Amnesia.
loses their memory,
Okay.
it's a medical condition.
Oh, I see.
But we are talking about psychologically affected. That means they still have their brain and their everything is functioning properly, but the mind is cheating on them.
I see.
The mind is
Okay.
telling, kill yourself, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So actually, when you want to commit suicide, a person wants to commit suicide, they actually kill their gross body, right?
Yes.
Actually,
Yes.
they are killing their gross body, which is not worth it because the real suffering is coming from the mind, intelligence, and ego.
Correct.
The real suffering of a human life is from the mind, is from the intelligence. The intelligence is giving you information, and the ego, what happened? It kills the body.
It's
All right.
Yeah. True.
So when the things happen, so they suffer terribly. So you need to have a gross body to enjoy and suffer and this thing. See, I need to have that hand so that I can take my phone. I need to have the hand to take it and put into my mouth. And then the mouth is made of the gross and the teeth and saliva and the tongue and everything so that I can chew the food. And the food goes to the stomach and it nourishes and sends the information to my brain and says, I am satisfied. So you need to have this kind of gross element to execute the mind intelligence, because this mind intelligence ego is subtle, is like it can't be seen, it's subtle. So when a person commits suicide, they are actually killing the gross body. They are not killing the thing, because the real suffering is actually come from the subtle body.
Subtle body. Noted, Prabhu. Noted.
Yeah. Why this thing is going haywire already? Oh my God, what's happening? Okay, so the real suffering come from this thing. So now, what happened if the gross body killed? Did you actually die? No, you didn't. Only a gross body did. Like for instance, you drive the car and bang into a tree. All right. Who has damaged? Who has gone into the total loss? The car is total loss. But you as a person, you are out of it. Now, because you're so frustrated, you break the car, you destroy the car, you take the hammer and break the windscreen, break the car because you're so angry. You can't go to you break the thing. But after that, what happened? You have to go walk. You have to walk to work. You have to walk everywhere you want to go. You have to take a Grab. You have to depend on public transport, which is not intelligent. You are increasing your suffering just because of small trigger, anger, whatever it is. You destroy your car. But after that, you suffer the consequences. You have to think about it. Oh my God, the car is gone, right? The car is gone. I still have to pay another 5 years loan, right? The insurance says, no, nothing doing. This is your own effort. It's not an accident. So we are not going to pay. The bank fellow says, you have to pay your monthly installment. If not, I've put you in bankruptcy. So what happened? So when the mind and when the gross body date, the mind is now hungry. The mind still have that sense of hunger, sense of taste, sense of touch, sense of everything. And still they have it. But it doesn't have a gross body to enjoy, to gross body to execute. I have the urgency to go to the hospital. I couldn't get a Grab. I couldn't get a public transport. But I don't have a car. But I have the desire to go. I have to want to go out, but I don't have all these facilities. So I have to walk and also increase your suffering. All right. So just think about it. You are not killing when a person committing suicide, he only increases his pain. He thinks that everything disappears. No, everything starts terribly. So the mind, that's why when you look at occult science, the science of this black magic and everything. So the subtle body is just like it's roaming around, and with the soul inside, of course, the soul is there. That's why it's functioning. So it's roaming around and everything. He tried to go into somebody and everything. He couldn't do anything. The hunger, imagine if you don't eat. In this body, if you don't eat, you die. But in that body, how hungry you also, you cannot die because you already died. You don't have a gross body. Only the gross body can die. A subtle body can never die. Right? So the gross body is not dying. So you have already killed the gross body. The gross body is dead. So what to do now? The thirst, tremendous thirst. I can't take it. Oh, I'm thirsty. The mind is standing thirsty. The intelligence applies here, thirsty, but it cannot die. You want to drink the water, nothing comes out. Right? You still have that urge. You have to do this thing. So what they do, they roam around. That's when the occult, the tantric guy, the black magic, they'll catch the person and put into the bottle and hold it. They block into the bottle. And they increase the anxiety. Just imagine if you just put into a small room, dark room, you feel like a kind of what they call, phobia, something, claustrophobic, yeah. How long? And imagine you're put in the bottle for years. Until you can't take it, you become so wild, you tell me what you want me to do. Tell me what you want me to do so that I can get out from this place. And they say, now you become my servant. Yes, I'm your master. Yes. You go into that house and terrorize the house because this thing is very inauspicious thing. You make sure you go. So these are the things that turn, when they become aggressive, we call it as ghost. When the thing become aggressive. All right, it becomes ghost. So go into that house, this house. And that's why when you see, I don't know whether you have seen or not, when people get possessed by ghost, what are the things they have? What are the things they happen? When they possess, they don't capture the body, they only capture the mind. When they capture the mind, intelligent ego, everything becomes disabled. So it goes into the mind of a person, and that's when, have you seen people who get possessed by ghosts? They can take one big pail of rice. They can just, when they start eating, they eat with two hands, and they drink a lot of water. They just want, and they just refuse to get out from the body. They whack them, they go to the tree, they put the nail and everything, they whack with the sata and everything. Still, they don't want to go because he wants this, because you have lost it. Right? So, and he's full of hunger. Have you seen anyone get possessed? If you don't want, you can go to YouTube. But anyway, it's not auspicious to watch all that. Just understand this thing. When a person gets possessed, they eat. So how you know a person get possessed or not? Sometimes they can eat so much, but their body starts shrinking. They can eat so much, the body starts shrinking. Right? So like that. So this is what happened when a person commits suicide. Okay. So now, what is that? Is it mind ID the key to control? Mind ID? Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu, what actually the black magic manipulate to meet the good or bad? See, black magic is very simple. Okay. There's a good magic and black magic. There's the occult and tantric. Okay. What they do, they take all these kind of date things, date matter, they make into the thing, and they have a kind of power that can send out to create trouble to you. Already this material world is full of trouble, and they can increase the pain to you. That's called black magic. All right. The black and occult magic. It's a kind of tantric where they utilize the date soul, the date person, take that subtle body and they manipulate it and go into the house. They come into the house. They start like creating all this kind of nonsense. A lot of things, a lot of problems happen. Okay. Okay, Vivan. But Rusan Mataji is saying, sir, it is mind ID the key to control. ID means what? It is mind ID.
No, it's a computer.
Computer. Yeah. So the mind is everywhere. That's why here is also only mentioned about mind. Some of the black magic tends to cure disease. Even the doctors can cure disease. Why you need to look for a black magician? Or even Ayurvedic doctor can cure diseases. So this kind of person that we approach black magic according to the mode of material nature, whether I be in goodness, passion, or ignorance. When a person in mode of ignorance, they usually get attracted to this kind of occult magician. The person in the mode of passion, they like to see a doctor. And the one in mode of goodness, they look for Ayurvedic and other alternatives like fasting and all this kind of treatment. Okay. If the black magician can cure disease, they should become the world's best doctor. They should create a hospital of occult science. All the person with all disease, they can cure. All these are bogus. Vivan? All these are bogus. They can just create some kind of, release. All right, some kind of release. I tell you one real life experience. All right, I shouldn't have said this, but since you asked me that question for benefit of everyone, let me tell you. My father, when he was diagnosed with the cancer of the throat, all right, suddenly my aunt sighed. Suddenly they said, can you come and help him and everything? He said, now I take you to one place. There's a snake puttu and everything. They took what they call some sand and they do some jibumba magic. Did my father cure? He died. So what is the point? It doesn't make sense. All right. If the black magician can be the good doctor, they should have created a hospital with this and try to cure it. This situation, only the suicide case. What about accident case? Okay, very good. Accident case, the people who die of a severe, terrible accident is the one who have very high karma, high reaction on them. In order to get the reaction quickly, they are killed by road accident. Example, when you look at this, the effect of eating beef. Okay, let me tell you. Those people who have eaten beef or eating beef, cow, every fur in the cow's body, the person has to be born and killed. So these are the people who are killed in car accident and road accident because their karmic is very high. So in order to get rid of that karma quickly, that's the thing. That's why they say the capital punishment, sentence to death, when a person murders someone is very good, actually, according to the Vedic Shastra. Because killing a person is also considered very sinful. When the person is hanged for that, his karma of killing that person is nullified. If not, he has to take many births to suffer. Anyway, we are going out of the topic. So now let me come to this. So when the subtle body and all this, they roam like a ghost and everything, and they suffer terribly. Even a person who are sentenced because to die prematurely is considered very sinful. Like what Kesavan said, accidental death. If the person, say example, like for instance, yes, accidental death per person is usually on a very high karmic reaction. Right now, say for instance, okay, I'm just giving you a overview thing, but of course, there's also a specific view. All right. Die of sickness is also normal. See, a person will die when the quota of human life is over. Until then, no one can kill you. Have you seen a person who plane crash, when everybody dies, still one fella can survive? Have you seen that? Yes or not? Not everybody dies in the plane crash. How come miraculously? There's one fella, the thing when shoot out, when the plane broke into half, he flew from 30,000 feet, came down, he alive. Why? Is it a miracle? No. His quota of death is not there yet. See, every human being got quota. Okay? Every person has living quota. Okay. So how they measure the quota? By your breath. Example, in this birth, you are given this much of breath. That's why the yogis do breath control. When you do close, hold it and this thing. So when you do breath control, you are prolonging your life because you're not wasting your breath. That's why when you're angry, you breathe. You get angry, right? If you're angry, you lose your breath. If you're lusty, if you're angry, you're frustrated, everything, you lose your breath. You're losing your breath. That's why when a person can control the breath, it's measured by the amount of breath that's given to you. We have seen a case that even a worse person who are in a dread disease survived. And a person who just started dread, like my father's situation, larynx cancer, it's very highly curable. Just like leukemia. Leukemia is very highly curable cancer. But I know a person who a very famous doctor in Ipoh just died of leukemia, which is puzzling. All this, why? Materially all this, but all this depends on quota. How many breath given to you? Have you used up all the breath? Okay, now, so every person has a living quota. And how they calculate? By number of breath. Okay. Now, Now now we distinct. Now we talk about this. See, a person has a living quota 70 years. Okay, he has a living quota of 70 years. But he either by accident, all right, or suicide. Okay, accident or suicide. Okay, he died age of 30. Okay, let me not talk about suicide, accident, because accident is totally a different thing. Let's talk about suicide. Since we are talking about suicide. All right. So when a person suicide age of 30, okay, he has balance of what, 40 years. So for 40 years, the person has to go on living as a ghost. For 40 years, okay, until he finishes his quota, 40 years, that person has to go on living in a subtle body in this form. Can you imagine? Right? Sometimes they say, oh, this house is haunted. Why? Because Japanese used to slaughter people. Okay. So I told, because the school that I'm from, ACS, he say, oh, this is in St. Michael, all these places are haunted. But in my opinion, but of course, I find it's true. Okay, I shouldn't say opinion. It's like after since the war is around 1940 something, it's around almost 80 years since World War II. Right? Since World War II. So around, now it's 2024. So around 90 years since World War II. All the person who were killed by the Japanese soldier and whatever it is, they died in the war. They should have somehow or other finished their quota of a human life. So the place, you can't find them haunting anymore. Unless there's a new living entity or living that accident, whoever come and stay there. Right? So anyway, so the person got 40 years balance. So in that 40 years, the person will be roam like a ghost. All right? And for the next 40 years, the fly have to roam around in full hungry and everything. So now let's look at the scary part. So according to the Vedic injunction, what is the punishment? Because you have no right to kill the material body that given to you. The material body that given to you is all according to our karma. We are suffering and enjoying, because this is actually this thing. So imagine a person who run away from the prison. What happened? His punishment is double or triple. They put them in dungeon. All right? So like that. So the body is imprisoned. So they are thrown into this. So what is the punishment? They say 7 birth, no gross body. So for the next 7 birth, you're not given any gross body. So that means after you finish your quota of 40 years, right? Example, a person finished the quota of 40 years, and after the 7 birth, no gross body. You say per birth in human birth, say 70 years. Example. So 7 times 7, 49. For the next 490 years, a person will never get a gross body. So when a person doesn't get a gross body, they live in Piturloka and they suffer terribly. They suffer in hunger, taste, and everything. That's why once a year we offer Pinda during the Mahalaya, Amavasya, and all these things. What is the reason? All right. The reason that we are offering this Amavasya and all this Pinda we are offering, just to say, in case if there's any of my forefathers are sitting in Piturloka who don't have a body, who don't have a gross body, for them to eat. That is Pinda.
Piturloka means?
Piturloka means a place of forefathers. You know, after that, when you look at the hellish, the entire creation, the lower is hell. After they go to the hellish region, they go to the place called Piturloka. All right? That means waiting for transition period. After they suffer the hellish, they go to Piturloka and they wait. Then they will get waiting for another gross body. Maybe a body of a plant, tree, or whatever. But still there is a body for them to act. So that's a Piturloka. But some people who have committed suicide, done terrible sin, so they don't get a gross body. So they don't have any kind of body, like body of a pig, body of a human, body of a grass, body of an ant, body of a fly. You can't get it. All right. So they are waiting there. So for the 7th birth, 490 plus 40 years. Think about it, my dear friends. It is not a joke. That's why even committing suicide is criminal act. It is illegal. Even a person catches a person who want to commit suicide, they put them in jail first. Then only send them for a psychiatric review or psychological help. It is punishable, right? So just think about it. So when a person who try to commit suicide, okay, Mataji Rusana, how about a person who exercise regularly, athlete and breath count? That's the thing that this kind of exercise is not recommended, Kesavan. You asked a fantastic question, Kesavan. That's why the best exercise for human beings is yoga. You see, yoga, you don't breathe. You take a deep breath and control. You know, like when you do Surya Namaskar early in the morning, you hold like this, hold your breath. Then you go behind. Slowly, you release your breath. Then after that, you come down. You take your breath. Then you get up, you release your breath. You control your breath and exercise. That's why this kind of exercise is better than doing strenuous exercise like running, jumping, and this thing. You are losing your breath. That's why you see the yogis can live a long life. Those who practice yoga, they can live. No, there's a guy, in Vrindavan, the sadhu, 100 and something years, 120 years, 130 years, still alive. And he showed that he's young because of yoga and lifestyle and everything. Okay. So whatever it is, whether the person going to live long or live short, it all depends on the quota that given to you. When the quota is over, how healthy you are, you're going to go. Even the quota is not over, how unhealthy you are, you will go on living. That's why this is the thing. All these things, we are talking about the gross body and all these things are considered material body. Only the soul that lives inside is pure. It is what they call, it is, okay. This the only one is spirit. All right, the only one is spiritual. All right. Other than that, all the other creations are basically, right, all these things, right, even the gross body and everything, with all these 5 working senses. All right. It has 5 working senses. It is made from the 5 elements. Okay, there's air, water, ether, fire. It has 5 working, like eyes, this thing. It has a 5 working senses. All right, the 5 working senses are eyes, nose, eyes, hand, 2 hand, 2 leg, anus and genital are working senses, and knowledge acquiring senses. That's the eyes and all these are knowledge acquiring. So it is made of all these things. Is made of this material body. So that means total are 20 plus the subtle body got 3. Total are 23. But all these the mind are counted. So total are 21. So this 21 is the one that handles. So the most important part that we want is to, what we want to save, that we really have to look into is our mind. The mind is very, very important. That's why Krishna says, if you can control your mind is your best friend. If you can't control your mind can be your worst enemy. Right? The mind can betray you. You're thinking people are betraying you. Your mind is your number 1 element that has been betraying you for millions of births. Right? So we have to purify. Then how to this thing? That's why when we chant Hare Krishna, we are purifying our mind because the mind is under vibration. When we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You do not need to understand the mantra. You do not need to know anything. You just go on chanting. Your mind will become sober. All right. Then when you read Bhagavad Gita, what are you doing? You are purifying your intelligence. Your intelligence has already been terribly corrupted with all this materially conditioned. When you talk about material way of life, the intelligence can give you so much of intelligence, how you can do wonders. Right? It's materially corrupted. So in order to purify your intelligence, you have to read your Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita and all these books just to purify your intelligence. So when the mind and intelligence purified, your ego become pacified. In the future, when people call you cling, oi cling, the mind is there. Well, the mind will send the information to the intelligence. Intelligence says, no, you are not this body. You are a spirit soul. Because you got a body of an Indian, they call you Kaling. And there's nothing to be very worried about. It should be very cool. And the mind says, yes, you are right. The vibration, yes, you are right. So the mind and intelligence both agree. Then the ego will see. Then what happened to the ego? The ego will be very pacified. You just look at the floor. Hare Krishna, I just walk off. Or you just ignore. You just look at the, you call me, whatever you feel like calling me, who cares? I'm not this body. Right? I want to become a multi-millionaire so I can build a huge house, mansion. I can drive a big car and everything. But now when you become pacified, what's the point of doing all this effort? Because I'm not going to stay here forever. You should come and visit Ipoh or Penang. You should see all the old mansion. Okay, I'm under this, I'm in this group called Ipoh Heritage. There's so many houses built by Lim Locking, right? Then by Kapitan, this thing, then the Confucius, the Chinese religion, Confucius. So he's a 20th or 30th generation was in Ipoh. He's the founder of PCRC, Para Chinese Recreation Club, Para Chinese PCRC, Para Chinese Recreation Club. He's the founder near the MGS school, right? And of course, there's a Taoist temple that's dedicated to Confucius. He built a huge building, and now the building belonged to somebody. All right? If you see all that buildings, like another guy, like Limbo Singh, and all these great personalities, the teen miners, Ipoh, Tauke, where are they now? I'm telling you, because even my own great-grandfather, the thing is in Goping Museum. He's one of the Natama Pillai in Goping. He's one of the guys among the most successful Indian around 1800s. He used to finance this tin mining. All right, and Yu Ton Singh, the founder of this medicine, also from there. What happened to all their properties, all the things that my grandfather? Who is staying? No one. I cannot go and say that this belongs to my great-grandfather. They'll chase you out. So when the thing is, okay, should I do that? No, I'm not going to stay here forever. What is the point working so hard for this? I just rather use my intelligent mind just to do what I can do and offer it to Krishna and live a satisfying life. And the intelligence says, yes, you are right. You live a satisfying life. All right. And the intelligence says, now I've understood from whatever I've learned from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, that actually you can go back home, back to Godhead in this very birth itself. And the mind says, how? See, if you go on doing that thing, because you are the one who trigger the act, so you make sure that you tell the ego to go on chanting Hare Krishna every day 16 rounds and read Bhagavad Gita without fail and try to distribute Bhagavad Gita, because when you distribute Bhagavad Gita, it is just like your gratitude. You're so happy, you're so fortunate, this secret. Now let's share the secret with others. By doing that, you can be very happy, very contented, and you can have this thing. At the time of death, you can just remember Krishna. Mind, you can simply remember Krishna, and I will supply the information to you. So at this thing, that all can be ceased. Enough is enough. Let the soul go back home, back to Godhead. Right? So, any questions? So you understand? Committing suicide, it's not a joke. You're not killing the real thing. If you think you're very frustrated in life, if you think you want to commit suicide means it's a very bold decision. If a person dares to die, why not he dares to live? So what is that solution? Let's save the mind and intelligence from this great falling into this material ditch. Any questions? I hope you all understand.
Yeah, for the ego.
Yes.
A lot of poor women that always comfort.
No. That's why you have to take your time to learn, Mataji. You have to go on chanting Hare Krishna, you read Bhagavad Gita, somewhere they will become sober. Initially, it's like that. For a person to come suddenly become humble, suddenly, it doesn't work that way. All right. So that's why we call ISKCON as a hospital. In hospital, got many varieties of patients. They got very variety of disease. So they come here to cure themselves. That's why in chapter 3, remember, Durena Hyavaram Karma. Throw away all your abominable activity, all the illegal, all the nasty thing. Durena means Duren, far. Hyavaram Karma. Hyavaram means all that inauspicious activity, inauspicious thing. Throw away, far away, through devotional service. So when we do devotional service, when we chant, when we read and all these things, we are actually purifying ourselves. And Krishna says, in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. So we are on a purifying process. Okay? Is there any other question? You all got idea? So if you please watch this video, okay, please don't miss that video. Please watch this video again and try to understand. Yes, Vaishnava Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Vaishnava Prabhu, you have raised your hand. Okay. So, it's 10:36.
Prabhu,
Shall we take a...
hold on, Prabhu.
Yes.
In your
Okay, okay.
time, how many times have you read the Bhagavad Gita?
Me, Prabhu.
Ah.
I don't know, Prabhu.
Approximately 100 times?
I have no idea, Prabhu, because first I was not reading it very seriously. Then I read it seriously after I started this Bhakti Sastri. Only Bhakti Sastri made me to study Bhagavad Gita seriously. So if you talk about serious reading, maybe less than 10 times.
Thank you.
Anyway, it doesn't matter how many times we read, Prabhu, how many times we appreciate that what we read. Okay, now it's 10:36, 10:37. Shall we just take a 3 minutes break? Okay, by the way, is it okay we overshoot the time a little? That means we're supposed to end the session by 11. Can we just overshoot 15 minutes extra? Is that okay?
No problem,
For
Prabhu.
everyone?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
great. Because I need to ask your permission because I know it's a working time, people are listening. So because I've taken a lot of time to talk about the chart, but of course there's another chart also we're going to discuss as we go on, is the universal creation, how the universe created and what is the earth, planet, and where the heavenly kingdom, where Kailash and all these are situated, and where do we stand to think that we are great. Of course, all these things is going to be in the future classes. All right. So now it's 10:38. Just take a 2 minutes break. Think what you have learned just now. Try to reflect. We get back together. All right. Just 2 or 3 minutes. Hare Krishna. Okay. When we talk about the accident mentioned that they did high in karma, that's why their life end that way. But when a person living long for many years, but their life solely depends on others, take care. What does that mean? Because many old grannies that live long keep saying that why the God torture them to live like that. Yes. Having a long life is actually useless if we do not practice bhakti. So like for instance, I know a person who she's 98 now. She can't see. She just lost eyesight. And she's like, when you look at their life, is so hallucinating and so scary. Okay. Even a person who have a very long life and yet they are going through these kind of things. Yes, Vivan is sharing something. I can't see the thing. So then, so that's the thing. So a person who live a long life, but this thing is also is a kind of everything in this body, in this world is all suffering. Okay. So, so all these things are create lots of suffering. Even a long life, it is suffering. Of course, that's also a thing. Live a long life and become disabled. All right. So what we should do now, we appreciate. Now, everything that given to us is actually blessings from the Lord. Everything that we didn't ask, like for instance, our spouse, the person that we are married to, we never asked to be married to them. But somehow or other, because of the karmic reaction, everything is given to us. So now, what we understand that we study from Bhagavad Gita actually, that we should appreciate what we have with us now and carry on with our life in devotion. Even that relationship can be very sour. Sour relationship, even this world is full of sour, right? It is not only the matter of your spouse, even matter of, the relationship when you work, we go drive on the street, everything's pain. So what we have now, that's why Krishna says, whatever things that you do, offer it to me, right? So that you can create so much of harmony. So all these things. All right. Is there any questions that you want to ask before we continue? Okay, all good? Okay, now we continue. From current slide. All right, so that's why it says, that one must deliver himself with the help of his mind. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of all conditioned soul and his enemy as well. For him, to conquer the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, mind will remain as his greatest enemy. So you can see there's a two different thing. One person, the mind has been bewildered him. He is thinking of committing suicide. Another place, he says, the mind is working as a friend and they are living in great ecstasy. Now the question is, say like for instance, how about from people from other religion, all right? So how are they going to do that? So even in every religion, they says the way that you can conquer the mind, I mean, to pacify your mind is chanting, all right? When you look at this, what do you call, like in Islam, they chant using the tasbih. Tasbih is a kind of the beats they have, and they go on chanting the Allah's name. Okay. Then when you look at the Christians, they have the rosary beats. Hail the Lord, like that. So they use the rosary beat and they chant the name of the Lord. All right. This chanting the holy name of the Lord is the only cure. Even in every religious practice, they have chanting. All right. So now, when you look at this in a Vedic tradition, all right, in Sanatan Dharma, okay, we have so many mantras that to chant, right? Okay, can I chant this particular mantra? Can I chant that particular mantra? Can I do this? Can I do that? All these kind of things, okay? So there are so many mantras, no doubt about it. But what Krishna suggests here is to chant the Maha Mantra, right? Say like, for instance, you know your local Adun, okay? You know your local Adun. Then at the same time, you know your local member of parliament, MP. You know him very well, okay? At the same time, you know Anwar Ibrahim, the prime minister. All right. So when you know all these three people, and three of them are very close to you, the local Adun is very close to you, the member of parliament is very close to you, and Anwar Ibrahim also very close to you. So in order for you to get something done, who you should approach? When you have three people who are very dear to you, right? Is it going to Adun is a good idea? Yes, it's a good idea. But your benefit is limited according to his power. When you go to member of parliament, okay, can you go to him? Yes, you can go to him also. He got a power within that parliamentary constitution. But when you go to Anwar Ibrahim, how about him? If you have power, he has the entire power. The universe, that means the entire Malaysia is under him. So he's the most powerful one. So it all depends on individual with whom you want to keep your relationship with. So that's why, usually when I go through this program, before anyone asks, that's why I'm telling you this, because usually they say that, oh, can I chant other mantras that I know, or some like example like Kula Devam. Okay, in my family tradition, I have this kind of a prayer and everything. Fair enough. There's no harm done. Okay, but the ultimate mantra that Krishna suggested, okay, and is mentioned in Padma Purana. Padma Purana is a Purana where Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati will be speaking. Padma Purana is our standard reference that we have to use in order to speak about this. We should not speculate. All right, speculate according to our family tradition. So what is in Padma Purana? It's mentioned. All right. For instance, there's one incident where Bhishma Dev will be lying in the bed of arrow, going to die. And the time waiting for then after the end of the war, the Bhishma Dev will be all over arrow in the body. So he'll just lie down as though he's not in the ground, not because all the arrow become a bait. He's just waiting and he's just like going to die. All the grandchildren like Yudhishthira, Arjuna, all Krishna, all came to visit him. All right, a dying man. And that time, they all asked, so grandfather Bhishma, tell us instruction, what we should do. So he says, everyone should chant the name of Hari. You must chant Sahasra Namam. Sahasra Nama means, Sahasra means 1,000. Nama means name. In Malay also we call Nama, right? So Sahasra Nama is the name. So a person must chant Sahasra Namam every day. All right? Om Keshavai Namam, Narayanai Namam, Madhavai Namam, Govindai Namam, Vishnavai Namam, like that, 1,000 names. You must chant the name of Sahasra Namam every day. Then after, in that conversation, Mother Parvati will ask Lord Shiva, well, my dear Lord, what Bhishma says that everyone should chant the name of Sahasranamam. Because he said, a person who do not chant the name or holy name of the Lord, his tongue is as good as the tongue of a serpent. You know the snake tongue? You know the tongue of the snake? His tongue is useless, considered useless, if you don't chant the name of Sahasranamam. So Mother Parvati will be saying to Lord Shiva, this is not fair. Because the educated one, especially the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas, they are educated. In those days, they are the people who have this Gurukula and everything. The Vaishyas are busy with business. They have no time for study. They have no time to sit down and study all the Vedas. They just study how to expand their business, right? And when you took a look at Shudra, they are just very much engaged in all the services. They have no time to go to school and study. They'll be thinking how they can improve their service. So, when this Sahasranamam only can be chanted by the name, by the Lord, by the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, it's going to be very unfair to people who are from Vaishya and Shudras. How is that? How is that be? And that's when Lord Shiva explained this very clearly in Padma Purana. Rama Rama Rameti Rame Manorame. If you all listen to this, if you have what they call Tirupati? What's the song they sing? What is the song they sing in Tirupati? No, there's Suprabhadam. When a person sings Suprabhadam, right? If I'm not sure now you have it, but those days when we used to put a cassette, Suprabhadam cassette, you know, Kaushalya Supraja Rama Purva Sanya Prabhatate. So after that song, then that starts another song. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Mudapade. Who sings that song? Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara, who propagated this Mayavadi philosophy, he sang that song because he was in Kashi and he saw one very old man sitting and doing this grammar research. He's doing the research on this Sanskrit. All right, like nowadays you see, right, people are into this language. They do a lot of research on the language. He's sitting and doing the language. And when Adi Shankara saw this, he got very annoyed. He looked at the floor and says, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Muda Pade. Muda Pade na Mutta Paile. Muda means foolish. Pate means person. Hey, foolish one. Chant the name of Govinda, chant the name, worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. At this old age, you're doing this kind of research on Sanskrit language. Where are you going to achieve? So there's another one to sing. Then after that song, there's another song will come. Rama Rama Rameti Rame Manorame. That's from Shiva Purana. That is a Padma Purana. In Padma Purana, Lord Shiva says, Rama Rama Rameti Rame Manorame. He says, when a person who simply chants the name of Rama is considered, you have chanted the entire Sahasranamam. Okay? When you want to study, when you want to chant the Sahasranamam, Om Keshwan, there's a lot of mantras, 1,000 mantras you have to remember. Sometimes people cannot remember. So when a person simply chants the name of Rama, is considered you have chanted the entire 1,000 names. Then, Lord, what they call? In Panchatattva. Panchatattva means what they call Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with his plenary portion, like Lord Shiva, Narada, then Brahma. All this comes in that 5 forms. Okay, Panchatattva. They call 5 tattvas, Panchatattva. They came and they propagated and they said the best way in Kali Yuga to achieve the highest benefit is by chanting the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That is that highest benefit a person can achieve when they chant the holy name like this. So is that mean chanting other mantras are not right? It's no harm. No, there's no right or wrong. But when you have a relationship with Anwar Ibrahim, why you need to think about having a favor from others like Adun and also MP. All right. So that's why we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with the supreme mantra, because we need to have a very strong mantra to curb a very strong mind. Okay. That's why it's proven when Prabhupada went to the US, just by chanting the Hare Krishna, even the terrible hippies who are drug addicts, drug crazy people or high on LSD, they became a great devotee who can give up all kind of bad habit and they live a very blissful life. Imagine all these people. What is their background? Right? The things that they have done, even we as a Malaysian, we have not done it. And yet they can become a first-class devotees simply chanting the holy name of Krishna. That is why the power is there. All right? So now let's look at 6.7. So now Krishna continues. Gita Atmana Prashantasya Paramatma Samahita Shitoshna Sukha Dukkeshu Tata mana pamanayo. For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached. Can you imagine? If a person can conquer his mind, the super soul, the Paramatma is already reached. All right? And he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. Remember just now I said, when a person who can conquer the mind, that means when you chant Hare Krishna and all this, you conquer your mind, you are tranquility. That means you're come to the very firm stage. You're not affected by anything else. So for them, happiness or distress, heat or cold, whether people respect you or disrespect you, honor and dishonor, everything is the same. Because the mind becomes sober. When the mind says, hey, that fellow called me stupid, the intelligence says, it's okay, he only called your gross body, not you. You are a super soul. Oh yeah, then he becomes sober. So it doesn't make any difference. All right. All right. Then let's look at this. Now, Krishna suggested how you should do, if you want to do this kind of meditation, what is that process? He says, Shuchaudeshe pratistapya stiram asanam atmana natyuchritam nati nicham chailajina kushotaram tatraikagram mana kritva yata chittendriya kriya upavishya yunjat yogamatma vishuddhaye. What Krishna says here, to practice yoga, if you want to practice this kind of mystic yoga, what you should do? You should go to the secluded place, the place there's not many people, and should lay a kusha grass. Kusha grass means darba pullu. You know the pullu, the darba, all right? Okay. Tamil, darba pullu dana solluvaanga. They say darba pullu, right? Kusha grass, all right? So, you should put a kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with the deer skin. Now the question is, why you should use deer skin? Right? Why? You must put a deer skin. Why not any other thing? Because the deer skin has this antiseptic value. When you put a deer skin in this kind of secluded place, the poisonous things like ants, scorpions, snakes, all will never come near you. All right? The things when you sit, because you are sitting there meditating in the jungle, in the secluded place at night or whatever, we don't know what's going to happen. You see suddenly one snake will come near you. Who's that? Suddenly you see some red ant climb on you, bite you. Right? All this, to avoid that, they put deer skin. Then after deer skin, and on top you put a soft cloth. Okay, the seat should be neither too high, cannot be too high, nor too low. Should be situated in a sacred place, all right? Not in a Kledang mountain, not in any other place. You have to go to the sacred place, like Himalayas and all this kind of place must be sacred. Okay, then the yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart. Okay, by controlling his mind. That means the purification of the heart will happen by controlling the mind, senses, and activities. Then fixing the mind in one point. Then you have to fix the mind in one point. Then samam kayo shiro grevam dara yanna chalang stira sampraksha nasikagram swam dishas chana valokayan prashantatma vigattabir brahmachari vrate stita mana sangyamya machitto yukta asita matpara. One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect. You have to sit straight, all right, in a straight line. Then stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Now you have to stare steadily. Can you just try? Look at your tip of your nose. If you have a sharp nose, it's okay. What happens if you have a flat nose? Huh? Oh, painful to the eyes. Not possible. So you have to steadily stare at the tip of the nose. Thus, with unagitated at the same as subdued mind. Subdued mind, the mind has conquered. Devoid of fear. That means you shouldn't have fear. Completely free from sex life. Remember, those people who want to practice yoga, you should be completely free from sex life. Now you see the word. Okay, prashantatma vigatavi brahmachari vrate stita. Brahmachari means free from. That means brahmacharyam. Vrate means vridam. Wow. You must be under the brahmachari vow. Okay, you shouldn't have involved in sex. Right? Completely free from sex life. One should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. Then in 15, Krishna continues, Yunjanevam sadatmanang yogi niyata manasa shantim nirvana paramang mat sangstam adigachati. So this practicing constant control of the body. That means when practicing constant control of the body, mind and activities, the mystic transcendentalist his mind regulated. His mind, once it becomes regulated, attains the kingdom of God or the abode of Krishna by cessation of all material existence. That means after giving up all material existence, he will go back home, back to Godhead. But after that, So then Krishna also suggested, Natya natastu yogasti na chaikantam anashnata na chati swapnas shilasya jagrato naiva charjuna yuktahara viharasya yukta chetasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yoga bhavati dukkha. He says, okay, yuktahara. Yuktahara. That means what? Eating. So there's no possibility of one becoming a yogi. There's no possibility one to become a yogi. Oh, Arjuna, if one eats too much, if you eat too much, cannot. Or eat too little, sleeps too much, or does not sleep enough. He who is regulated in his habit of eating, sleeping, recreation, work can mitigate all material pain by practicing the yoga system. That means what? Again, he who is regulated, that means you have regulation in his habit of eating. Very important. Food is very important. That's why until the 18, Krishna will be speaking about food. Why food is important? Because nourishing. All right. So eating habit, sleeping, recreation, like having fun and all this, right? And work can mitigate all material pains. So that means if you can regulate all these things, eating, sleeping, recreation, and work, if for this you can do it nicely, okay, with regulation, all right, a person can mitigate all material pain by practicing the yoga system. Okay. Now you see this kind of yoga, it is practical in Satya Yuga. There's 4 yugas in this this thing. That means 4 yugas means, that means this is called the 4, what do you call the 4 4 kind of yes, the deer skin to use is seen or not seen, yes, correct, but they don't kill the deer. They only take the skin which when the deer is dead. Even sometimes, when they have the mardanga in the tawul and all this, it's all made from cow skin, right? But they don't go and kill the cow to get the skin. They wait the cow until it dies naturally. That's when they use the skin. And that's why the skin can last long, because the skin is already aged. It's already strong. All right. Okay, now. So now there's a Yuga Dharma. So what is a Yuga Dharma? There's a Yuga Dharma means like 4 seasons. The first Yuga called Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga means the time that people live up to 100,000 years. Their lifespan is 100,000. All right. The lifespan is 100,000. Okay. So in that Yuga, people achieve perfection by doing this kind of great mystic yoga. Because the yoga, they practice at least for 10, 20,000 years. Okay. When you see in the story of Ravana, story of Hiranyakasipu, they all meditate for 20, 30,000 years. It's not they simply meditate 1-2 days, they get perfection. They go on meditating until the body also all eaten up by the termites and all this. All right. Anyway, so in Satya Yuga, the lifespan was 100,000 years. Okay. And the recommended process for Yuga Dharma on that time was meditation. Then in Treta Yuga, the second millennium, the lifespan from 100,000 reduced to 10,000. All right. And how they achieve perfection? By doing this kind of big Vedic sacrifice, fire sacrifice, yagam. They do the yagam. And through the yagam, they achieve perfection. Okay. They go on doing yagam for 2,000-3,000 years non-stop. And how they do the yagam, they simply chant the mantra, the fire will come. Not using the King Kong matches and light up the fire. Then in Dwapara Yuga, the lifespan have reduced to 1,000. Right? So in this Yuga, and how they achieve perfection? By doing temple worship. So all that magnificent temple that you see in India, they find it so amazing. It is, they say, oh, it's built by alien la, built by this la. No, it's all built in Dwapara Yuga. Right? When the person got 1,000 years, imagine if you have 1,000 years, that means you can see your great-great-grandfather's great-great-grandfather still alive with you. Yes or not? Your great-great-grandfather's great-great-grandfather is still around you. So imagine the amount of idea, the technology they have. That's why they could build a huge, beautiful, wonderful temples, which is amazing, which cannot be understood how the human can build this. Right? So in Dwapara Yuga, they live up to 1,000 years. Right? And in Kali Yuga, what happened? All our lifespan has reduced to 100 years. All right? The Kali Yuga allocation, a person to live up to 120 years in standard, but roughly we say 100 years. 100 years is the age of people who live in Kali Yuga. But now we see as we go on, you see the time is getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Even nowadays, we'll up to 50, 60, so it's considered big time. It's amazing, right? So this is the Kali Yuga. Now, in order to Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, to meditate like this, to do this kind of big fire sacrifice, and to do this kind of fantastic deity worship, all these three things need qualification. You have to have a very high qualification in order to do that. But in Kali Yuga, when you simply chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, that means by doing this Harinam Sankirtan, without any qualification, you do not need to be qualified, you do not need to be born in a very high caste, you do not need to be very intelligent, you do not, nothing. You can be the worst sinner of the sinner, right? You can be the craziest of the crazy, you can even be a hippie or whatever. Just by simply chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you can attain the perfection of what in Satya Yuga by meditation, Treta Yuga by fire sacrifice, Kali Yuga by deity worship. All these benefits can easily achieve in Kali Yuga simply by doing Harinama Sankirtanam. So that's why in Kali Yuga, Nama Sankirtanam is the Yuga Dharma. All right. So now, when we see here, how much time do we have? Right? We have been childhood before, we have been youth, old age, and sleep. This is the four things that we have passed through in our life. Okay. Example, duration of life. In boyhood, we spend something like 10 years. In a childhood, we spend 10 years. All right. In old age, roughly 20 years, maybe from 60 to 80. Old age, 20 years. And we sleep roughly 30 years. Example, if you sleep 8 hours a day, what happened? Say if you sleep 5 hours a day. Okay. 6 hours a day. All right. Every 4 days, 1 day gone in your life. 6 times 4, 24. Every 4 days, 1 day gone. So, and we see that duration of time is very short. So how much time do we really have in order to practice bhakti? How much time that we have that we can practice in dhyana? How much practice we have that we can do a elaborate deity worship? How much time do we have that we can do a big fire sacrifice? Think about it. Okay, since we are talking about dhyana, can you just sit and meditate in this kind of hustle bustle city? When people are honking, when the call are coming, when the phone keep ringing few times, even that's why, when you drive, that's why they say, put your phone away, throw your phone away, don't keep your phone with you. Until the radios have to tell, when the message comes, it's not necessary for you to read. But the message keeps going, you'll be wondering, why? And there's so much of it. They take the palm accident. So that means, why people are messaging me? So like that means the agitation is very high. How are we going to concentrate? Okay. So Parikshit Maharaj, so that's the thing. How long do we have? Can we really do Astanga Yoga in a hustle bustle city life? Can we really do this? Ask that question to yourself. Is it possible? Not possible in Kali Yuga. All right. Like some people say, oh, I want to meditate. I want to go to this place. I want to go to Kailash. I want to go to this kind of mountain area. Then I want to meditate on all this. It's a simply waste of time because it's not possible. Okay. We can't handle. But of course, it's not to say that you can't do it. There are people who can doing it, but it's a rare people. It's not open for everyone. So, Bhakti Yoga, you can do anytime, anywhere. Okay, you can do anywhere, anytime, and by anyone. There's no rules and regulation. There's no nothing. The Radha Yatra festival, like recently there's a Sinai Radha Yatra, this thing. So, Radha Yatra festival, Sunday program festival, all these things, anybody can do. All right. So, it can be nicely performed and very easy. After listening to all this, then now Arjuna is now saying, what Arjuna is saying? Now let's look at this. Arjuna vacha yo yang yogastvaya prokta samyena madhusudana etasyahang na pashyami chanchalatvat stitim stiram. He says, Arjuna said, oh Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appear impractical. A great person, Arjuna, who is not in the bound of ignorance, right, but was put into ignorance by Krishna, he has been such a great valor, he can basically could do anything in this world. He himself said, not practical. Why? Chanchalat stitim stiram. Chanchalat. Okay, so impractical and unendurable by me. Yosyam yogastvaya prokta. Etasyaham na pashyami. Na means no, cannot. So it's not practical and it's unendurable. I can't endure that. Because chanchalat. Chanchalat means the mind is restless and unsteady. Chanchalat means, when you see the word Sanskrit, chanchala means monkey. You see a monkey cannot sit in one place. Right? If you see a monkey, he'll be like, keep agitated. You cannot see the monkey remain calm. Or sometimes you can see the dog remain calm. Or you can see the cat can be calm. Right? You can see even elephant can be calm. Right? Even you can see the snake can be calm. But you can never see monkey being very calm. Right? Right? If you don't believe, you go to Batu Caves or wherever, you just start to see monkey. In Ipoh, you go to Tanjaramutan. There's an area called Batu Lapan. All right. That day I went for a wedding. I saw so many monkeys there. All right. You can go and see whether the monkey can keep quiet or not. That's why it's chanchala. So the mind is agitated and restless. I cannot practice this. So when Arjuna himself declares that, how is it possible everyone to do it? All right. So then he also continues, 634. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Chanchala again, the agitation mind, oh Krishna. Pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayur iva sudushkaram. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. Oh Krishna. And to subdue it, I think is more difficult than controlling the wind. He said he can even control the wind. All right. But to control the mind, it is more difficult. All right. So I say, so you remember. So it's to control the mind is very important. Now let's look at this body, Sharira. So now when you see there's the senses are here, the 5 senses are here. The 5 senses are equivalent to 5 horses. The tongue, taste, smell, ear, and sight. They call indriya or senses. The 5 senses are like a horse. They are very wild horse. All right. And the mind is the one that controls the horse. The string, they call rein, R-E-I-G-N, rein. You know the rein, to hold the horse. The one holding the horse is the mind. All right. And who controls it? The higher intellect controls it. Because the mind will act according to by the understanding of the intelligence. And the consciousness, the Atman sitting there and wandering. All right. The intelligent and this thing are just helplessly, they are just going around creating havoc. And after that, the Atma will go back into the hellish region, then come back again, go around like that. All right. So when the horses want to something, it goes. The mind sometimes will tell the intelligent, let it go. Right. And this thing. So the higher intelligent body. So that's why he says it is not easy to control the mind. So when you chant Hare Krishna, you are purifying the mind and creating the higher this thing. So by that, you can be able to control the senses. All your indriyas will start to be subdued. And by the subdue of this indriya, everything will work in harmony. 35. But after that, Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asankshayang Mahabaho Mano Durnigrahang Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairakyena cha grihate. 35. He says there, not Sri Krishna says, oh mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult. Yes, Krishna himself says it's very difficult to curb the restless mind. It's very difficult to curb the restless mind. Yes or not? Sometimes you get angry, sometimes you get confused, you don't know what to do. You're restless. It's very difficult to curb the restless mind. But it is possible. Okay, it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. How? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairakyena cha grihati. Vairakyena in Tamil we call vairakyam. Determination. All right. So, but what I translate, Prabhupada translate, is it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So what is that suitable practice? How you're going to curb the mind? That's what Krishna is going to explain from next chapter onwards. Then, all right, then 37, 38, Arjuna Vacha, Ayati Shraddhayo Peta Yoga Chalita Manasa Aprapya Yoga Sangsiddhim Kamgatim Krishna Gachati Kachinno Baya Vibharatas Chinnabram Iva Nashyati Apratristo Mahabaho Vimuda Brahmana Pati. Arjuna said, oh Krishna, what is the destination of unsuccessful transcendentalists? Now he's got another question. He was wondering, what happened to the person who are practicing bhakti transcendentalists, but they become unsuccessful? They fail. Who is in the beginning take the process of self-realization with faith. Initially, they start with so much of faith, but later disease due to worldly mindedness. Then after that, just give up. Everyone not meditating, they're having a good life. Why should I do that? No, they just change. All right. And thus does not attain perfection in mysticism. That means they don't attain the perfection. Okay. Then after that, he also continues, O mighty Am Krishna, does not such a man, that means that person will be bewildered from the path of transcendent. That means will he like fall away from the transcendental path fall away from the both spiritual and material success, because he was in that material success. Sometimes when you go into spiritual life, you're practicing it, giving up a material life, but end up you fail in your spiritual life. So that means you fail both. You have given up material life to live in spiritual life, and that also fail. You cannot go back to the material because your life has already gone. You're already aged or something like that. So that's why I ask, will they be will they fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a raven cloud? What is a raven cloud? See, in the morning when you wake up, you see the cloud appears up. All that dew from the tree and everything, all like suck out. There's a beautiful cloud that covers the mountain. But as the sun rises and the wind blows, the thing will get blown away. It's only temporary, right? When you get up in the morning, you see the mountain, you see the cloud goes up, it's only temporary. So will they perish or will they disappear just like a raven cloud with no position in any sphere? That means there's no place that they go. Will they perish? Okay. So then Krishna continues, okay, in 37. Okay, then after that, Krishna says, Prapya punya kritam lokan ushitva shashvati sama shuchinam shrimatangehe yoga brashto bijayate atava yoginam eva kule bhavati dimatam etadi durlabo tarang loke janma yat idirsham. The unsuccessful yogi, now, what happened to them? After many years of enjoyment in the planets of pious living entity, is born into the family of righteous people or into the family of rich and aristocracy. All right. If I say a yogi who are unsuccessful, all right, what they'll do, they'll get a place in heaven, no doubt. Okay. So these are the people who go to heaven. But after they finish the heavenly delight, what happened? They come to this world again. They born into the family of righteous people. That means they've born into a very good family, or into the family of rich and aristocrat, like Ambani family. They fall into a family of very rich and aristocrat. Okay, that's why you see all the people are very rich. They are just like the one who came from heavenly kingdom. All right. Or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth among the family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly such a birth is very rare in this world. So now he says there's only two options. They born into the righteous family, very good, decent family, or they born into the family of very rich and aristocrat. All right, after heaven. But at the same time, there's also another possibility that these people will take birth in the family of transcendentalists. I mean, they're born into the family of a devotee. Okay, and who are great in wisdom. That means they are practicing. They are born into a family of a great devotee, wisdom. But after that, Krishna says such a birth is very rare. That means when a person goes to heaven, they fall down. For them, it's very rare that they'll born into the family of a devotee. It's very rare opportunity. But these two are possible. That means you're born in a very good family, or you're born in a family of a karmi, like this kind of great millionaires and this thing. So what happened if you're born in the family of Ambani, or you're born in an England royal family and everything? What will happen? You'll forget. Because after you enjoy the kingdom in heaven, you come here, you got another kingdom prepared for you in this material world. You see money, you see fame and everything. Do you have time to practice bhakti? No way. That's why even the devas in heavenly kingdom, they want to come to this earth to practice bhakti. All right? They can't even practice bhakti in heavenly kingdom. They have to come and take in the form of a human being. All right? So that's why he says, but among all these possibilities, if a person born in the family of a transcendentalist, it's very, very rare. 45. Prayatnat yatamanastu yogi shangshuddha kilbisha aneka janma shangshiddas tato yati parangatim. Now another thing Krishna also says. When the yogi engage himself with sincere endeavor, but if the yogi works so hard in endeavor, making further progress, then being washed of all contamination, all the dirt being washed, then ultimately that means achieving perfection. That means they achieve, after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. So that means a yogi, after giving up this body, he born again and become a yogi again, practice. Then again, he born again and breathing. After so many births, after remove all contamination, then after that, he achieved the perfection. And this perfection come after many, many births of practice. All right. So that's why in Kali Yuga and all these things, meditation way of life, it is not possible. Then after that, 47, but after that, Krishna says, but this type of yogi, amazing yogi, the yogi that he likes, that he suggested is Yoginam api sarvesham mat katena antaratmana. Mat means me. Katena antaratmana. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam. Same yukta tamo mata. Shraddha means faith, worship. Bhajate means worship. And of all yogis, that means all kind of yogis that I mentioned, but the one who with great faith, who have so much of faith, who always abides in me, always be with him. Think of me, Krishna says. All right, think of me within himself and render transcendental loving service unto me. Okay, Shraddhavan means activity, bhajate, worship, right? So that means the one who renders transcendental loving service to me. He is most intimately united with me in yoga. So these are the people. That means who have great faith, who abides in me. That means who listen to him, who follow the Bhagavad Gita, teachings of Bhagavad Gita, thinks of him. That means when you study, you start to think about Krishna within himself. And by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, you're always meditating on him. All right. And render transcendental loving service to him. The service is by chanting, reading, and offering ghee lamp and all these things. Krishna says he's the most intimately united. He's very closely united with me in yoga. And this is the highest of all. And is the highest of all. That means this yoga is the highest of all. And Krishna, that is my opinion. So Krishna is giving his opinion. He says, there are so many yogis, but the one who practice this bhakti yogi are very dear to me. So Krishna himself is suggesting how you should practice yoga. So now let's look at the yoga ladder. Right? When you look at this yoga ladder, there's a ladder. So when you look at this, okay, number one, first you start with karma yoga. Karma yoga means you do your activity, just do it without expecting any result. Then you come to jnana. Right? From karma, you upgrade yourself to jnana by understanding, reading, and everything. Then from jnana, you go to dhyana yoga. Right? Then after dhyana, you come to the ultimate yoga we call bhakti yoga. Okay? In chapter 12, we study what is bhakti yoga, the ultimate yoga. Okay? Bhakti yoga. So it takes a lot of process. And this process can take many, many births. But in Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna says, he says from karma yoga, you straightway jump to bhakti yoga. It's a shortcut. From karma yoga, no need jnana, no need dhyana. Just from karma yoga, straightway jump to bhakti yoga. All right? So you create a shortcut. And this is very possible. Okay? So, and how to do that, we will study in the next chapter, chapter 7. In chapter 7, the title of the chapter of 7 is chapter 7, it is considered the most confidential part of the knowledge. All right? First 6 chapter is the first part. The last 6 chapter is 6 part. But the chapter 7 to 12 is the most confidential part of the Bhagavad Gita. And we are starting tomorrow. All right? So please don't miss it. So in chapter 7, what we're going to cover is the knowledge of the absolute. So now many people may have reason, right? They might have a lot of way of thinking, belief system. Am I doing the right thing? Do I need to worship this type of God, or do I need to do this thing? So now Krishna is going to reveal what is that absolute truth. All right? Who is that absolute truth? The knowledge. How to know that absolute truth? Everything is revealed by the Lord. But of course, in Bhagavad Gita, in the end of Bhagavad Gita, you'll be very surprised with Krishna's statement. Krishna will say, and now anyway, I'm telling you in advance. So, but anyway, Krishna says there in the final chapter 18, he says, I have told you whatever I need to tell you. Oh Arjuna, do as you wish. So Krishna is not going to force you to do or practice all these things that you've learned. It's all entirely in your own decision. Krishna have given you enough evidence, enough explanation about life, about human body, about situation, environment, nature. We're also going to study about the nature. What is nature made of? Inferior, superior, and marginal. Okay, inferior nature, marginal nature, and superior nature. And all these things after mentioning, end of the day, in chapter 18, Krishna says, do as you like. Why? Because Krishna has given us minute independence of choice. He have given you the minute independence of choice so that you could make a decision. So now is the time that we should put the intelligence in work. So now by doing this comparison study of Bhagavad Gita, because I'm saying tomorrow chapter 7 is going to be very interesting chapter where Krishna is going to reveal the absolute truth. Okay. Then after that, 8, then 9 comes to the most confidential knowledge. The title is of most confidential knowledge. All right. Then 9, 10, 11, then 12. Then after that, you talk about this universal form. And chapter 12, the last part of this confidential part, the middle 6 chapter, you're going to talk on Bhakti Yoga. All right. So the middle 6 is going to be the most important one. Okay. So don't miss the session tomorrow. And oh my God, it's 11:26. I'm so sorry for taking more time because I tried my best to explain and scrutinize everything within that context. But of course, certain things have to be explained in detail for your own benefit. Okay. We are not rushing time actually. I say the most important is how much can we understand that we can practice a beautiful life. Okay. Is there any questions? Any comment?
Yes. The
Yes.
Sanskrit words Adam na. Is it body, mind? It says body, mind, soul.
Which verse is that, Mataji?
Adam.
Yeah. Which verse was that? Atmanam. Atmanam. Okay, sorry. Prayana, this one. 15. Oh, you're asking what is Atmanam? Oh, right. Okay, 15. Okay. Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyata manasa shantim nirvana paramam na shamstar adhikachati. You're talking about this sadatmanam, right? Is it?
Yes.
All right. So let's look at the translation word by word. So 6:15, Yunjan evam sadatmanam. So practicing evam mentioned above, sada constantly. Atmanam means body, mind, and soul. Okay. Okay, Mataji. So Atmanam means body, mind, and soul. That means by practicing constant control of the body, mind, and activities. Okay, this is called Atmanam. Atma is different. Atmanam.
So Atmanam is what you explained to the cross body and subject body and soul, isn't it? Is that?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So the next one, the sat.
Yes.
Satter yoke. So it's difficult to do meditation in this Kali Yuga, this
Yes.
yoke, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
It means no way we can use this method in this Kali Yuga.
No, in Kali Yuga, if you really see, how many people can achieve perfection in meditation? Many people are trying to meditate all the while. It's like in other words, when you really look at psychologically, psychophysical effect, it is just like sleeping consciously. You know, when our mind is so agitated, we have so much of problem, trouble, and everything. So we just try to close our mind and like not to think of anything, meditate. There are so many meditative process. Okay, there are so many movement that teachings meditation and everything. But the question is, what can they achieve? Because the actual reason for meditation is for self-realization, to know yourself and to go deep into yourself. But this meditation is somehow or other just like keeping a person calm. Of course, meditation is very important. Sometimes it's good, psychologically it's good because it keeps you calm, keep you relaxed, keep you composed. All right. It is just like exercise. Exercise is good. All right. Exercise is good. But the thing is, will that exercise benefit you spiritually? You know, like just now, someone asked a question I forgot to mention. So what is the best exercise you can do? One is yoga. Second is swimming. Third is walk. It's considered very slow exercise, but very good for your body. Okay, Mataji?
Okay.
Because the meditation in Kali Yuga is practically not practical, right? Because we are so much, what they call, agitated. Maybe you go to the center, say like meditation center, like they have one center when everybody sit around and meditate. The question is, how long can they do it? Can they meditate? Maybe what? They just go there, gather, they put a small, slow aircon, make it chill. They put on some light music, then they all close their eyes and sit down. What happens? Suddenly the aircon break down. Can they meditate when they start to sweat? They can't. Right? Can they meditate when there's someone is honking at the car? Can't. So there's so much of distraction because the mind is always like a radar looking for something. Capture that. Right? Even though you're trying to control it, they're just like a naughty child. You're trying to hold the child, but the child is so mischievous. But you're trying to hold. While you're bringing suddenly, the child will pull something. Just like that. It's not very impractical.
Okay, understanding. Thank you.
Welcome, Mataji. Anyone else? Any other question? Well, the session was good. Do you like it? Was the message is still within your grasp? Is it too heavy? Why? All quiet. Hare Krishna.
Good, Prabhu, good.
Okay. Okay, Kesavan, superb session. Yes, thank you, Kesavan. Great class today. Sumitra, thanks. The most important that we realize ourselves, right? So whatever I've said, whatever I've presented, there's no glories, there's nothing is mine, because I'm simply repeating what I've heard from my spiritual master and all the preceptor. Okay. I'm just under the Parambara system. I'm just repeating. All glories to all my spiritual master and all the previous Acharya who have created, who have gave commentary on this book so that a layman like me could understand. Okay. So all glories to all the spiritual master, all these things. And then other than this, if you find the class is good, maybe you just can put a small comment so that you can encourage others to join tomorrow's class, which is going to be very, very important. That's when the real Bhagavad Gita starts from tomorrow. Okay. So till then, have a wonderful, beautiful day. Pancha kalpatarubhescha kripa sindhubevacha paditanam pavinebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Have a nice day. Gauranga.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Gauranga. Haribol.